welcome to Movie Review Mom. I'm so glad you're here, especially if you're new. I'm glad that you found my channel. Yay! And a big thank you to my subscribers who keep coming back and writing such sweet things. Comment down below anything you want. I actually I read and reply to every comment that comes through. So thank you. All right, the goal of this channel is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision for you and your family as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a particular film. So the specific film I'm reviewing today is called Green Ghost and the Masters of the Stone. This goofy anti-hero movie will be available on video on demand on June 28th, 2022. It's rated PG-13 and is an hour and 35 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to tell you my movie review mom grade, but you have to promise to keep watching so you find out why I gave it the grade that I did. So my movie review mom score is a B. You actually got a big kick out of this movie. I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked, didn't like. I'll offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny and interesting lines, and even recommendations for other movies that are sort of similar that you might also get a kick out of. Okay, so in a nutshell, in a Texas border town, car salesman Charlie moonlights as a masked lucha libre wrestler going by the name Green Ghost. When unknown assailants arrive seeking an otherworldly emerald, Charlie discovers that he has superhero powers. Yay! I'm waiting for that day to come for me too. Anyway, as he learns how to fight from the unconventional Master Jin, played by the action film legend Danny Trejo, Charlie is told that he's part of a secret warrior triad of light with his childhood friend Marco and Marco's sister Karina, led by La Nana, which is the grandmother. Together, they've been chosen to protect humanity from Drake, the embodiment of the Mayan apocalypse. As a stargate is opened in a Mexican pyramid, Drake seeks the power to destroy humankind, and Charlie, linked to the power of the Emerald, who is the only one who can stop him. Charlie must harness both his physical and mystical strength to save humanity and go from Gringo to Green Ghost. In the style of comedy, horror, martial arts movies of the 1970s and 80s, director Michael D. Olmos's Green Ghost and the Master of Stone is a comedic anti-hero action movie filled with adventure for the entire family. All right, so the list of things that I liked is pretty long. First of all, Danny Trejo is the star power granted to this amateur movie. The cast includes new faces that will mostly be unfamiliar to audiences, such as Charlie Clark, Kuno Becker, Marco Zaror, Renee Victor, Sofia Pernas, Pepe Serna, and Alpidia Carrillo. So I hadn't seen any of them before other than Danny Trejo. Some of the action sequences are actually pretty funny. The feature film is based on an old TV show called Green Ghost and the Mexican, like Mexican, not Mexican. Anyway, you got to see how it's spelled on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. Anyway, we get to hear some poppin' Hispanic music. However, don't expect a very professional movie like Marvel's Avengers flicks. Be prepared for a lot of goofy, slapsticky fun, and it is fun. I love a good, funny, inspirational training sequence, and this movie has one. There's just lots of humor, both spoken and visual. The cast seemed to be having a lot of fun making this movie, and that always makes it much more enjoyable for the audiences to watch, don't you think? The story is about a guy who owns a car dealership and then has this amazing adventure. What's really cool is that the movie was actually created and produced by a guy who owns a car dealership. He's partly telling his real life story, particularly about his love for the Mexican culture and especially his adopted Mexican mother who had a tremendous influence on his life. At the end of the movie, we actually get to see pictures and video clips of them together. So keep watching during the rolling credits. You can see his genuine love and appreciation for her. And I just thought that that's what made this movie especially sweet. He's a gringo, but his Spanish is excellent because he really did grow up with this adoptive Mexican family. So there are action sequences, as you can imagine. Some of them are better than others, but they're pretty much always entertaining. Now, let me tell you about some of the things I didn't like or thought could have been done better. First of all, there are 4 very long scenes of exposition in Act 1, but they're actually necessary to understand what the heck is going on. This plot is a little convoluted, and so you have to be told what's happening and why it's important and what happened before and, that kind of stuff. It's just a lot of talking. There are some bad acting moments, and again, mostly because these are unknown new actors. The costumes look like costumes, but of course they're meant to, because it's mostly these luchadors, the Mexican fighting costume, like a Nacho Libre kind of a thing. The movie looks like a fairly low budget movie, although some of the special effects are pretty entertaining. Let me give you some tips for parents. First of all, you see a man in his boxer briefs from behind. Another time you see a man's naked rear end. There's a lot of Spanish that's spoken without subtitles. Sometimes I felt like it was kind of important to the plot. And so I don't know why they didn't include subtitles. And then sometimes it's not. It's just kind of for the Spanish ambiance of the scene. There's a lot of violent fighting, as you can imagine, with various weapons, mostly hand-to-hand type of combat. Now, some of the themes that are illustrated very well in the film are family, identity, how we influence others in a good way and a bad way, hope, belief in oneself, working together, greed, and good versus evil. So I always write down funny lines and interesting lines, and I have them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. I'll share just a couple of them with you right now. Here's one from Nana, who's the mother slash grandmother, who's this mother figure to Charlie. And she says, every family's not perfect, Charlie. Sometimes we just have to make our own. And I thought that that was really sweet because we don't always get to choose our family. And for those who don't have a family, they get to choose a new family. And we can always invite more people into our family as an extended family. And I thought that that was a really sweet message. And then Master Jin, who is played by Danny Trejo, he says, impossible is a big word spoken by a very little man. And he meant that in terms of stature, but also small-minded type of a man. All right. So before we go, let me give you some recommendations for other films. And the first one, of course, that came to my mind is Nacho Libre. Now, he doesn't have superpowers, but he develops these skills and talents and has to believe in himself. And it's hilarious. One of my family's favorites, and kind of feels like a low budget movie. At the time, it really was. And then it just developed this cult following. And so I hope that for this movie, I don't know that it will, but you never know, it might. And then another movie I instantly thought of is called The Hyperions. And it just came out, I don't know, gosh, time flies by so fast. I wanted to say just a few months ago, but it could have even been last year. Anyway, it's an interesting movie. It's about a superhero family and then some other superheroes as an extended family and their personal relationships. And it's done in a very stylistic way. Definitely watch my movie review because some people are loving it and then other people not so much. But you might get a kick out of that one as well. All right, that's it for my review. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. And as always, I hope you watch this movie and enjoy it. And if you don't, well, I gave you the heads up, right? Thank you also for subscribing and liking this video. Anytime you do those simple actions, it spreads magical YouTube fairy dust all over my channel so that it can grow and more people can discover my movie reviews. So thank you. I appreciate that. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.